and then cooking. Alright guys, so today we're going to be cleaning the living room. As you can see, we're also going to do some dishes, and in my house, because we have no dishwasher, it's a few rounds of cleaning the dishes, as well as some cooking. And you'll see how I have to sometimes cook and prep with my son, which, you know, that's good because then he'll get to see and he learns. But it doesn't change that it's a bit of a pain in the butt when you're needing to have two hands. However, we're always cautious and we're always careful. But I do enjoy the bonding. Also, this video is taking place over a few days because not always do we need to cram everything in one day. It makes it a little bit easier, and it makes life easier, especially when you have kids, to sometimes spread it out so it's also not overwhelming. So I completely forgot to do a before for you guys, but here is the after of the cleaning. There's still stuff on the floor, but because we're in an apartment and we have downstairs neighbors and my son was sleeping, there's no vacuuming that happened. But as you can see, it's a lot cleaner. Next, we are moving on to the dishes. As you can see, there's quite a bit for me to do. This is a normal. The nights when, and the days when I don't have this much of a sink full and counter full, it's amazing, and I feel like, what's going on? But it just means that I was ahead of the game that one particular time or day, and it's nice to be ahead of the game, but you know what? Sometimes you can't, and you have a load full, so here we go. So there's quite a few times where I am looking down or around me, and that's because my son was in there. He has some things to play with when he's in the kitchen with me, but of course, like all kids and toddlers alike, testing boundaries, trying to get into things that they're not supposed to. So I had to do what I had to do and keep him out of things to keep him safe, of course. I do have to say it is extremely satisfying no matter how many rounds of dishes. It is always extremely satisfying when you're done with that particular round because you're done and you can move on to whatever, whether that is playing with your kids, relaxing, getting onto meals or whatever, but it's always just very satisfying when you're almost done. So I don't get to do as much meal prep as I get to do snack prep, and that's what I'm doing here. Just as you can see, taking some cheese, cutting it into cubes. That way it's easier to eat, of course, but also there is a visual reminder to be eaten so it doesn't go bad. And this one's actually pretty good. I don't remember specifically what it was because my boyfriend grabbed it. I do remember that I can say that it is a nice smoky taste. So I realized at some point it did not record what I was doing, so you didn't get to see the cube cutting, which that's okay. But I like to show sometimes how I go about cutting, prepping, whatever in the kitchen with my son. Our kitchen is not really set up so that way there's an island in the middle or chairs or stools or anything for him to safely sit on or stand on or anything. So this is how I do it, and I like to show you guys. That way you can see that it is doable. You just have to figure it out. So it is definitely not the season for a smoothie, and by that I just mean it's not warm outside. Here where I am, it is nice and cold. And I wasn't necessarily in the mood for a smoothie, but I wanted to make sure that the yogurt did not go bad. I had been setting aside portions with, as you can see, the yogurt and different fruits because my son was eating it and he's no longer into that for now. So I decided to make it into a smoothie so as not to waste it. So what's in this is whole milk yogurt, Greek yogurt with strawberries, blueberries, and then what I don't show you because I forgot until later to just put it in period was I put in some peanut butter, and that gave it the extra sweet that I liked, and also milk like you see right there. So here I'm simply testing out how my son was going to react to the loud noised blender. For the longest time he was not a fan of this noise. And as he's gotten older, of course, things have changed, and the best way I've noticed he can handle noises that are obnoxiously loud like these things can be is to just put one ear against me and cover the other ear with my hand, and he is just fine after that. So these are pork chop loins. They've been marinating for more than a day. The rest of the sauce is here, and here is a screenshot of the marinade itself. I'll also go ahead and put that in the description box. But so for dinner we're trying something. We are doing marinated pork chop loin, rice pilaf. I'm going to cut this up, and this and that is going to go in the oven. So for the marinade recipe, which is what we are trying, I, for the most part, actually stuck to this recipe. I stuck to most of the measurements. I did not do 3 cloves of minced garlic. I just used garlic powder, and that was only because I was being lazy and I did not want to bring that out and cut it up and deal with all that. So I did a few, basically some substitutions of sorts. Also the rice wine vinegar. I use the Kroger brand, so I don't know if they actually have specific rice wine vinegar, but I used something similar enough. I think it was just rice vinegar or rice wine, but it turned out fantastic. I still loved it, and I recommend it. And also what you see me here doing, aside from cutting things, is the broccoli was starting to go bad. So anything that looked remotely questionable, I was just taking paring knife and taking it out in the trash bag I have right there. And by trash bag, I don't mean an actual trash bag. I use produce bags as my trash bags. So that way all this stuff can go in one bag and I can take it much easier clean up, throw it in the big trash can. just going to turn this on, preheat it to 400. So now here you see the smoke and you'd think maybe something's burning, and that's kind of what I wondered as well. I lifted up the pan, which I ended up editing that out, but I lifted up the pan to see what the heck was going on, and it was just that something extra greasy was on the burner burning off, so ignore the smoke. So I don't know if you guys have made a rice pilaf, rice roni version before. If you have, you know it's easy. If you have not, that's what I'm doing, is making rice rice pilaf and just browning it up. And as you can see, it looks fantastic. It smelled so good when it's done as well. But that's what I'm making here. There is just something so incredibly satisfying when you hear that sizzle when you're cooking. Bring this to a boil and then simmer, reduce, etc. Are we cooking? Are we cooking? I think we're cooking. It's now boiling. We're going to reduce to a simmer, which I will do in a second, and cover it. Now, that may not look too appealing because the sauce fried onto the parchment. However, it was still super delicious, and I was able to just pour more of that sauce from the container, not from the bag, onto what it needed to be on. Hi guys, so first of all, I want to apologize for my messy state. My hair is nice and frizzy and there's no makeup, but I wanted to come on here and say thank you guys face to face. Thank you guys for watching to the end. Those of you who are my subscribers currently, thank you so much for watching all the way through. And for those of you who are new, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and then share the video. And all of you guys can go ahead and follow me on Facebook at Crystal Clarity. Instagram, I have Mama Mystics. My son is asleep and my boyfriend is asleep, so I figured now's perfect time to get a little FaceTime with you guys. But yeah, so like I said, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye.